こちらは TAAF2023 トーク&トークと名しまして、コンペティション部門など参加しているクリエイターの方に直接お話を伺うことで、作品の、生まれた背景だとか周辺についてお話を伺っていこうというコーナーになってございます。私の方が、司会の方を務めますゆるぎそうと申します。よろしくお願いいたします。それでは早速参りましょう。短編コンペティションにノミネートされている森の支配者 The Forest King のエグゼクティブプロデューサーユーリ・ステパノフさんです。よろしくお願いいたします。ようこそ日本へ。日本は何度も来られていらっしゃいますかね。
No, it's my first time, even though I worked with Japan before. But it's exciting to be here, and unfortunately, it's the first opportunity that I could come. Of course, I use it.
はい、ありがとうございます。自己紹介と簡単ご挨拶をいただけますか。
So my name is Yuri Stepanov. I'm producer from company Lakeside. It's a Canadian company, a company based in small northern town in Ontario. It's called Norway. And so we produced this episode, which is part of anthology that contains 6 episodes. And unfortunately, the right person to be here, it's director who did it, that we were, of course, excited to work with. But since I'm here, I'm ready for any questions today.
ありがとうございます。もう壮大な物語だなと思って30分拝見しましたけど、これがまだ6分の1ということでなかなか大変だと思うんですけど、お話のイントロダクション少し頂戴できますでしょうか。
So the story of Forest King, it's based on the Russian poem that was written 200 years ago by Vasily Zhukovsky. And Vasily Zhukovsky was inspired by German poet Goethe. And Goethe took the idea from the old Nordic fairy tales. And but Forest King, it's one part from the series anthology that contains 6 different episodes, which all of them based on the modern and old Russian literature, and was sort of translated in animation way by a director from different countries. Forest King, it's meant to be 3rd episode. 3rd, yes, and of course it's possible to watch in any order. But the way how it was done, it was meant to be like 3rd episode, but they not really connected because all of them they done by different directors in different styles and in different countries.
全部見られるのが楽しみだと思うんですが、一方バシリー・ジェフォフスキーさんの詩が1818年のもので、今回の作品とても未来というか、時代がいつかなのかというのをお伺いした方がいいのかもしれないですけど、随分その印象が違う。どういう解釈をされて、また工夫をされていったのかというのをもし教えていただければ。
Yes, of course. I believe the most important person for animation, of course, is director. And of course, he would be the right person to answer this question in all details. But I think good ideas that would appeal to people, despite it was first time thought many years ago. And in that case, Lyubomir Arsov, who is the director, it's a great Canadian director, who was interested in that story. Of course, he got all freedom to give interpretation that he likes, because when it was told first time as a Nordic poem, many centuries ago, in that case, of course, it sounds completely different, but the way how it was told, I believe it's most appealing to the modern days, because the most important is not just to tell word to word, but to use this idea and makes it modern that will make people think about it. And that way, not just as a historical event or some poem that was classical for some reason, but think why it's so important, why it so touch people even now. In that case, of course, the form that was chosen by Lyubomir, and I think it was a great idea.
それで言うと、じゃあ一つの詩から6人の監督による6つの作品が生まれたという感じですかね。
Yes, no, all 6 episodes. It's based on on Russian literature with different period of time. Some of them quite modern, some of them classical. It's 200 years ago written, but it's they're not really related in the way how it's just the ideas that was interpreted by different directors, and they done in different styles and different techniques. It's from rotoscope to classical animation, and it's some stop motion, and that's it's they only united by the main idea that it's the stories was taken from Russian literature.
その6つの作品ってのも実はもう見られるというかできているんですか？これ以外、今回いただいているザ・フォレストキング以外。
Just finished recently.
大変楽しみです。だからこれ一つの作品というよりは一つのもっと壮大なプロジェクトというふうに捉えた方がいいんだなと思っています。どうやってその6人の監督さんあるいはユーリさんの考えるそのチームというか取り組みができたのかなというのをちょっと差し支えなければ教えていただけますでしょうか。
It's a good question because I still surprised that we finished the product, and the most exciting part we did it during the pandemic, and in that case even some people who was in the same town we couldn't meet them, and of course in one hand it's challenge, but in other things I believe it's always interesting to do something it's that most people don't, and in that case I believe the result usually more interesting because of course it's some challenge, but at the same time it was quite pleasure to work with all people that was involved, and I think through animation we find a way how to connect people who never heard about these stories before. In that case I think it's the most interesting. It's sort of proof that it doesn't matter where people live and if they ever heard about some stories, and it's if they're attached to Russian literature, but if it's good ideas and a good team, right directors, I think it's possible anything. I know it sounds a little bit sort of, but I think we have a proof that it works. It was everything was connected through Zoom, and of course we use a software which is called Fabrica. Yes, and it's all animators, and some of them don't speak. They couldn't speak the same language, but in that case, through Fabrica, which is all technical issues was solved, and it's in that case that software allows people just to put some images there, provide the comments, and everybody will see in the language that they want because it's translate everything, and of course it's variety of Zooms, and a lot of communications. Of course, which is any work require communication. It was the same. It's only, again, some people we never met in person, but we work with them 2 years, and it's become friends, of course, with all of them.
コロナの期間に制作がかかったというのはもう皆さんご苦労されていると思うんですけど、その間に新しい作り方にトライをされて新しいコネクションやり方、熱量の持ち方っていうのが生まれているという素晴らしいお話なんだとお聞きしました。でまだこれらの作品の発表も控えていらっしゃると思うんですけど、またアニメのこういう発表のされ方についてこう6作品並行で作って出ていくプロジェクトみたいなことでいうと、ユーリーさんが次にまた仕掛けていこうと思っている企みみたいなことをお聞かせいただけたら少し。
Of course, and we already start to work with in other stories, and we already have some scripts but. Of course, first, it's always a challenge to produce, and another challenge to find the right place. And in that case, we already start a discussion with a variety of producers, and hopefully we can start work for the next season, which would be, I don't know, would be based on European literature or whatever country is, because now we know what to do, and it's hopefully it will be possible. And I'm sorry, I never told thank you for the festival, which is I'm excited to be here, and it's meet a lot of people with interesting products and see a lot of great animation here in Tokyo.
こちらこそありがとうございました。お話を通じてフォレストキング森の支配者の作品にご興味を持っていただけたかもしれませんし、またユーリさんが仕掛けられる次のプロジェクトもとても楽しみだと皆さん思っていらっしゃると思います。今日はお話ありがとうございました。森の支配者のエグゼクティブプロデューサーユーリ・ステパノフさんでした。どうもありがとうございます。
ありがとう。